I'm Dr. Raymond Dunn,
And I'm Dr. Marvin Dunn.
and we welcome you to another exciting season of Through Black Eyes Unfiltered. Today's conversation will begin with the Trump lawsuit update. Bro, what's going on with that?
The Trump Presidential Library
Yes.
lawsuit. Well, let me begin with the first lawsuit that I was involved in with the Trump Library Foundation. As a way of background, Ray, Miami-Dade College, you had some affiliation with them for quite some time.
I did.
Owned a very expensive piece of property in downtown Miami, 2.6 acres of land downtown
Familiar
Miami.
with that.
And they were using it for a parking lot. The Miami-Dade College Board of Trustees gave that land to the state of Florida, and the state of Florida gave that land to the Trump Presidential Library Foundation.
Now, wait a minute. Wait, what? How could they do that, bro? Do you know that?
State law allows that. Land that's owned by the state, and that's state land. Miami-Dade College doesn't own it. The state owns it.
Okay.
And the state said, give it to Trump, to the Presidential Library. And they did it, Ray, the Board of Trustees did in secret, in the dark.
Now, wait a minute. What do you mean in secret, bro?
That the Board of Trustees met, and they had a meeting that was not publicly noticed. People didn't know that they were having this on the agenda. And based upon that, I then filed a lawsuit against the Board of Trustees saying that they did not operate in the sunshine, that they broke
Exactly. The Sunshine Law. Okay.
Exactly.
I get that.
So I brought that lawsuit, and apparently a judge agreed that they had not properly noticed that meeting and required them to have a second meeting, which they had. And apparently, let me mention about the second meeting.
Okay.
They did have a second meeting. Let me just back up, Ray.
Okay.
The thing that got me involved in this to begin with was that the Miami-Dade College Board of Trustees had a meeting. This is the first meeting that they had
Okay.
to give this land away. It was a 5-minute discussion, if that, and then the vote was unanimous to give this land to the state. That caught my attention. How could the Board of Trustees of the college meet for 5 minutes without giving the public much notice about it anyway, and then make that decision without there having been public discussion among them?
Let me.
Had there not been private discussions among them, how could they have come to that conclusion without a discussion among themselves to unanimously give that land to the state of Florida? So that was the basis of the first lawsuit.
Okay.
That they operated out of the sunshine, and apparently a circuit court judge agreed with that and forced them to have a second meeting.
Okay.
Now, mind you, this is land that's involved in the Wilson campus, downtown Miami.
Right.
So they did have another meeting, as ordered by the court, but that meeting was held in Hialeah at 8 o'clock in the morning,
Why?
the other end of the county.
Why?
Why? I don't know. You tell me why. But rather than having had it at Miami-Dade College, downtown, Wilson campus, they held it at 8 o'clock.
Closer to where the land is.
Where the land was, they held it at Hialeah campus at 8 o'clock in the morning. And a lot of folks came. I went. And people got to say their piece. And very interestingly, Ray, after we spoke, most of the people spoke in favor of the land not being given away. The board then voted to do it without any discussion among themselves. So that's how the state now has come into possession of the land. The court allowed the matter to proceed, and now the Trump Library Foundation was given the land by the state of Florida, by the cabinet of the state of Florida. That's the governor, the attorney general, and I think another officer. The controller.
Hold, help me out. Were they given the land, or did they have to at least pay a token amount for it?
I'm glad you asked me that question. The Trump Presidential Library paid that. This is land that is currently evaluated at $67 million. Once it is developed, this is prime land downtown, right near the Miami Arena, the Miami Heat Arena. This is land that, when developed, could be worth as much as $150 million, maybe even as much as $300 million. So this is very, very valuable land that the Trump Library Foundation got from the state of Florida at the behest of Governor DeSantis for $10. The state of Florida was given $10 for some of the most valuable land in the state of Florida at the behest of Governor DeSantis. Now, why did he do that?
That's a good question.
That's why we're having the second lawsuit.
Okay.
which I suspect will be a federal lawsuit, a constitutional challenge. We have plaintiffs standing by. I expect that lawsuit will be filed very soon, and we expect that we will be able to challenge the president in terms of his violation of the emoluments clause of the Constitution, that is, accepting a gift of financial benefit while still in office. We believe that to be unconstitutional.
Now, question, this land was given to the Trump Library Foundation, is that right?
The Trump Presidential Library
Library
Foundation.
That's
correct.
Who's on the Trump Presidential Library Foundation?
It's three people. Eric Trump, the president's youngest son.
That's his son, okay.
I think a man named Steve Witkoff, who is one of the president's closest advisors, and who now, as a matter of fact, is negotiating for us in the Middle East with Iran. That's Steve Witkoff. An inner circle member of Steve Witkoff, a very, very close member of the Trump circle, as I said, representing the U.S. in negotiations with Iran, and another guy, I think a lawyer. Three people are the Trump Presidential Library, one of them being Steve, being the president's son, Eric. So they now have that land, and they plan to build a library that is essentially a high-rise apartment. They think that this will be the tallest building in downtown Miami. It could rise as many as 70 stories, and it would be luxury apartments, not the presidential library. There may be a little corner of it set aside for the presidential library, but this, Ray, listen carefully. This is important. What they're doing on that land that they got for $10 from the state of Florida is putting up a luxury apartment, high-rise.
That sounds commercial.
That will be of commercial benefit to the Trump family, meaning also to the president. We think that's illegal. We think that's against the Constitution, and that's why we have filed a second lawsuit that I expect will be filed illegally sometime in the next few days.
I've heard that Witkoff's son is involved in this in some manner. What
I'm so glad you asked me about that. Alex Witkoff is head of the Witkoff Group.
Okay.
That's a real estate company, high-end real estate, one of the biggest real estate companies in Miami. Alex Witkoff is in charge of it now that his father is negotiating for the government as a government official. But Alex Witkoff is over in the Middle East raising money from Middle East governments, from the princes of Middle East government, from Kuwait, from Lebanon, from Saudi Arabia. He is over there gathering up. They're trying to raise $2 billion for this library. $2 billion Trump says he's going to raise for his presidential library. Where is that money coming from? It's not taxpayer money. Mm-hmm. It's coming from Middle East investors who are tied up with Witkoff and his son and the Witkoff Group and Ray, listen to this carefully, bro. Witkoff owns land 1 block away from the site of the presidential library that he helped pick out.
Back up. He is helping to negotiate with Iran.
Correct.
Appointed by Trump.
Correct.
The family is involved in something that Trump is saying that he's going to raise that much money for.
Let me be even clearer. The Witkoff Group has a lot of expensive land that they're going to develop in downtown Miami. Some of it, a good part of it, is 1 block away from the library site that Witkoff was one of the 3 men who convinced Trump that that's where the library should be built. So basically, he has his hand in choosing the site of the library, and coincidentally, it's just a block away from where he has millions of dollars invested in real estate. And his son, Alex, is now in charge of the Witkoff Group, the real estate company, and Alex Witkoff, is in the Middle East begging up money from Middle East princes, Kuwait, Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, etc. The folks who gave Trump that plane, Qatar, is one of the countries that he is trying to get money from for development in downtown Miami, and I think including the presidential library.
Give me a comparison. How does what they're planning compare to, for example, Obama's library that just recently
Good question.
opened?
Well, it's about to open. It may have opened just within the next days or so,
Okay.
if not already open. President Obama has a presidential library that's on city land. City of Chicago owns the land that the Obama Presidential Library is on. The Obama Library Foundation has a lease for 100 years, 99 years for that land. The city of Chicago still owns the land. That's a big difference. In this case, in the Trump Library case, the Trump Foundation owns that land. Secondly, there's no commercial development of any significance on the Obama Presidential Library or on the grounds of any other presidential library. They can have commercial development on a presidential library site. They can. They can have a profit-making business on a presidential library site. But the business must be aligned with the mission of the presidential library. A bookstore, a cafeteria. Obama's library has that. Other presidential libraries have bookstores and restaurants. They don't have a 70-story apartment, luxury apartment complex associated with them. That is a unique Donald Trump Presidential Library design, and it's illegal. It's greed. It's corruption at the basic level, and it's also rape. You got me started now. It's like treating the people of Miami like we're fools. Our kids, that land belongs to the future generations of Miami-Dade College students.
That's the point I want to get to.
Right.
That land was left by Mitch Wolfson. The money that we're talking about initially for that property, for the use of students, and he stated clearly, not for brick nor mortar. Now, I know that there are different organizations, but how do we get that far off course? A man left some property and some money to help out with college students and needy
The answer
students.
is very easy. Ron DeSantis, the governor of Florida, did this. A big question is, why didn't Miami-Dade College get something for this?
Exactly.
Why didn't the Miami-Dade College Board of Trustees insist, to the extent that they could have, on getting something back from this land giveaway? My sense was that if they were going to build, I didn't think they should, a luxury apartment complex on the property and operate that and make money, then give Miami-Dade College some of that money going forward.
Exactly. Going forward, there should be a percentage of the total income going back to the college for its students and scholarships.
At the very least. They're talking about, the Trump Presidential Library Foundation folks are talking about benefits to students being a couple of internships at the library, some space for study to come in and learn about the president's presidency. They will have a little corner of that big luxury condo or apartment building tucked away and calling it a presidential library. And yes, I'm glad that you asked me the question about comparing it to Obama and other presidential libraries. This is way over the top, which is typical of Donald Trump. Presidential libraries should not be profit-making organizations for the benefit of the president.
Has anybody or any organization, you don't have to name names if you don't care to, but has anybody or organizations come to assist you
Yes.
with this effort?
Yes.
So you got some backing going
Yes.
on here.
We have one of the best law firms in Miami-Dade County and Coral Gables. And we also have a firm in Washington, D.C. that does this kind of litigation, of monuments prosecution. So we are very, very well represented, both here in Miami-Dade County and in Washington, D.C. These attorneys have been working on this lawsuit for months now, and we believe that with the several plaintiffs that we have, including myself, that we are ready to go forward pretty soon.
So when do you expect the next hearing will take place, or the next step?
It'll be a filing. It'll be like a filing of the lawsuit in federal court.
When will that happen?
Well, I think within the week.
Okay. Brett, thanks a lot for informing us of what's going on with this Trump Library lawsuit. We appreciate it. And if you don't mind, would you just close us out, please, with that?
Well, I think if folks want to know what's going on with this case, follow me on Facebook, Dr. Marvin Dunn on Facebook.
Okay.
And just keep up with developments. Also, I want to make sure I mention I have a new book out.
Oh, yeah. I've been waiting for it to come out.
Just
come on, tell
out,
us about it.
Just came out this month actually. This is the history of African Americans in Florida. This book was written for middle school students, and we're going to be talking about it in a later episode in this program. But this book just came out, and I'm just very proud of it. A history of African Americans in Florida. It can be purchased at CCIPub.com. CCIPub.com. You can get this book. We'll talk more about it later.
Brother, thanks a lot for introducing the book. I'm looking forward to reading it maybe tomorrow.
All right.
Okay. And with that, that's a wrap.